because we don't have any footage either way, so...
We're going to get footage.
Well, duh.
Now, actually, let's just do it with no footage whatsoever.
Just talk the whole time?
So,
a picture of that broom.
So anyway...
So now I'm making a left, right? And now I'm making another right down. I went the wrong way. So I can climb the walls in this fucking place? I mean, it's not like I can get anywhere.
What are the walls made out of? Just out of curiosity.
Ironclad.
Oh, and you can climb these iron walls now?
Yeah, I can climb.
They're not iron, they're stone.
Let me see them.
They're ironclad walls. Ironclad.
So climb them.
That entire labyrinth is not made out of iron, it's stone.
It's ironclad.
That definitely looks like stone.
It's ironclad.
You led me the wrong direction.
Yeah.
You are a liar. You, sir, are not credible.
You cannot climb
Ironclad.
iron. Yeah, you can't climb the freaking.
I just broke Jeffy. He's like, you can't.
Well, because we were arguing about this the other day,
Really?
and he's
Yeah.
like, why can you climb everything in the game, but you can't climb inside the shrines? I'm like, because the shrines are like this,
You can't climb
Yeah,
inside the divine beast. And they're made of stone.
and they're like this,
But you can climb other stone, just not the divine beast stone.
because it's like this.
It'd probably make it too easy.
It's Sheikah stone.
I don't care if it's too easy.
If you could climb the walls of all the shrines, you wouldn't have to do them. You just, hey, there's a shit over there.
So that's terrible design then. They should have switched it.
Are you recording this and this is how it started? Because that would have been amazing. Well, I mean,
God.
if that's the case, I'm Shanoy on this new channel.
Hey, Shanoy.
Hey, what's up, bro?
Oh, hey, Shanoy. I'm Rob.
Hey, Rob.
A little fat and out of shape. And we have Jeff with us, so that's always great.
Yeah,
Jeff is the glorious beard.
I have a beard and a hat.
Yeah, he
He's the
does.
beard of wonder.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so,
he does.
you guys
So,
were wondering what we looked like.
Yeah. Just in case you want to find us.
All right, well, Jeff, you have the most experience in Breath of the Wild, and you love it. So,
Oh, I love it.
tell me why you love it.
Why do I love it? Because the sense of wonder in that game never dies.
That
No,
is
it
kinda
dies all the
true.
time.
No, it
It
doesn't.
does not die.
No way.
You are just a horrible, jaded person.
Bro, I'm stuck in a labyrinth right now, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm
He's
literally
stuck in
okay with
a
this.
labyrinth that's all stone walls,
It's not ironclad.
and he's
from the early
okay
Okay,
with
but
stone walls.
all right. So, Jeff, you've beaten the game. I've beaten the game. Shinoy's horrendous,
My name is really Shanoy, by the way.
and Shinoy.
Don't believe him.
How far are you in the game, Shinoy?
I'm on my last beast, actually. I just roam around a lot. I'd rather roam first. I want to beat everything first before I actually fight Ganon. I want to get everything else first.
Well, then what? What do you do after you fight Ganon?
Well, I mean, at that point, I'll just already 100% the game.
So you're gonna get all 900 Korok seeds?
No.
So that's not beating the game, then.
Alright, fine, then I will then. Challenge accepted. Alright? Insert meme here, okay?
Let me know when you get them so I can look at your map and find stuff.
And see
We
where they
need you to
are.
mark every single Korok seed.
Well, so that was exactly the way I was when I was playing. I was like, I'm gonna do everything before I fight Ganon. I did not do that. I got most of the shrines, and then I decided, you know what? I'm ready to storm the castle. I'm ready to fight Ganon.
And you did it with amiibo content, right?
I did do it with Amiibo content. Yeah.
I absolutely did this with
So
Amiibo
Jeff
content.
hid behind the paywall, which is
I
great.
did not hide behind the paywall. I just think cosplaying as Ocarina of Time Link is pretty cool.
Actually, wait, time out. Is it paywall when you use everyone else's Amiibos and not your own? Because I didn't actually pay for them.
That's ghetto paywall.
Alright,
Yeah.
well then that absolutely suits me anyway. So that's perfectly fine. Bro,
Okay,
I keep
well-
going in the same place.
It's like when you borrow your rich friend's car to impress the ladies. Like,
But then you
Oh, I've
crash
done
it.
that. Oh, I've done that. Tito.
Or you get your amiibo stolen. Piece of shit. If there's someone out there that stole my amiibos, I will kill them.
Triggered. If anyone has found this link, please call Rob.
Alright, Jeff, so you've beaten the game. You got all the Divine Beasts, all the memories, and you're still playing it. Why?
because there's still stuff for me to find.
Like what?
There's still shrines for me to find.
Outfits.
You can't beat a Zelda game without getting every heart piece.
But there's no heart pieces in this game.
Yeah, there are.
No, there's not. There's no heart
Shrines
pieces.
collect heart pieces.
You pick up a heart piece?
Yeah.
No, you wish for them from the goddess. You're just like, I wish.
And then it falls on your head and you pick
That's
it up.
not a heart piece. That doesn't count.
It's a piece of my full heart.
Well, yeah, it is actually a full heart.
Okay.
There was another Zelda game that gave full hearts too. I don't remember what that one was, but
That was probably a link to the Oracle of Wild Past.
yes,
Twilight.
all of those.
I was once in the making of that movie.
So you're in the credit. Oh, it's a movie now.
Yes, it was. Yeah, it was a movie back in June 2003.
We're gonna get shut down by Nintendo now.
Immediately.
Yeah,
Well, now
probably.
we send Nintendo, so we're screwed.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Well, okay, so
Take two.
Let's break it down like this: pros and cons of Breath of the Wild. Shinoy, you're pro. Go. Number one pro.
My pro. Well, I mean, I guess I got to be real about it and say that this is my first Zelda game, so everyone's gonna hate me for that.
You're a baby, right?
Yes, absolutely. A pro for me with this game though is like I never played any of the other Zelda games. I guess simply because it just didn't look enticing. I guess maybe the game looked a little too small. But the fact that this is more of a free roam game and it's not necessarily story based, I like it that way.
Okay, Jeff, what is your pro? Your biggest pro? The reason you turn on the game every day?
Because there's stuff to get.
There's stuff to get. So what you're saying is when there is no longer stuff to get, the game is over.
Yes, but there will always be stuff to get because I will never get all the stuff.
Are you not confident in your skills to get the stuff?
I am not confident in my ability to get all the Korok seeds. If I decided I would go look it up. So right now where I am, I'm at 113 shrines.
Yeah.
No,
out of?
I'm at 103 shrines. Sorry.
Out of
120. So I got like 17 shrines left. The shrines, I'm confident. I haven't looked up a single one.
Except for the constellation chart. He told me about it in the car.
I didn't look up
well,
the
yeah, I mean,
chart.
I did
figured out the constellation chart.
Okay.
I'm not an idiot.
Shots fired, bro.
Right. So that's your biggest pro, is finding things.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I get mad at the game for not having like a list of stuff to find. Like it doesn't tell me how many shrines are left in this area and in this area. But then as I play more and more, I realize that that's better that it doesn't have that.
Yeah, well, so I mean, because that would be unfair if it did that. Because I mean, because you might not discover something else in that area just because but there's no more shrines.
Well, they kind of.
I mean, it could also say like, okay, there's 300 Korok seeds in this region, like whatever that one tower covers. They could be like
seeds, they probably should put something there.
Yeah,
so
then you know.
If there's 900 of them, and you can't even track them on the Sheikah Slate.
Right, exactly. It's entirely too many. Yeah,
I'm still finding ways to find Koroks that I haven't even found.
And there's a lot.
Because they're everywhere. They're like underneath rocks. You have to climb trees. I found one on top of Ganon's castle.
Yeah.
See, now here's the thing.
Oh, spoilers.
Besides you getting expanded things in there, is there really anything else to the Korok seeds?
No. I mean, I think there's just like...
There's a reward for getting all of them.
Yeah, apparently you get like a diarrhea in a box.
Because I was going to say, like, what?
Yeah, that's the reward.
A diary?
No, diarrhea in a box.
I don't want that box. So I might not catch all 900. Catch them like this is another name I can't
We
say.
got to catch them all.
Because he's Danny Phantom.
Pocket monsters. Yes, I got around it. Pocket monsters.
Still translates from Pokemon.
Yeah. Well, it's triggered now, so it doesn't matter anyways. But no, because like I do know that there are certain things that you do get, you know, because I don't really look up anything either, but, you know, you're on YouTube and you see names of channels, and there are things that you do get for 100%ing it and stuff. So, I mean, that absolutely would be something you want to do, because you can't get it any other way.
The Korok seeds.
No, just in general. Yeah, like, just in general, 100%ing the whole game.
Yeah, so 100% the whole game is what? Doing every side quest? Because there's no side quests that repeat themselves, right?
No.
Right. There are repeatable side quests, but they don't show back up in your side
well,
quest.
They're like shoot the deer and get the rupees from the one guy.
Yeah, or like the girl who you can keep giving her food, and then she makes the food for you.
Yeah,
like
so
things of that nature. Yeah.
There's one guy who really likes meat, and you go get meat for him, and you finish the quest, and he's like, hey, I'll buy like 3 meat off you a day for like 300 rupees.
All right, so that's
really.
Keep going back and giving them meat.
So 100% is doing all the non-repetitive side quests.
Yes.
Obviously, all the story ones, shrines,
Korok seeds,
every outfit,
and collecting all the gear.
Every gear,
every outfit.
Every location on the map that doesn't have a name yet.
And
you have to get the name for it.
And the compendium, right?
And the compendium.
Yes.
Okay.
Which you could just buy your way into existence.
Pay to win.
Yeah,
well, that also would mean, too, that we would have to have had every weapon and stuff, too. Or did you already say that? You didn't say that.
Well, you won't have to have every weapon with the compendium because, like, you could buy it from the guy at the tech lab.
That's true. That's true.
All right, so let's talk about story. Jeff, tell us the story of Breath of the Wild.
Oh, you put me on the spot here.
You have 2 minutes. Go.
Okay, so an undisclosed amount of years after 10,000 years after Twilight Princess, I think, right? I don't know. Wherever they say it goes in the storyline.
There's a storyline?
Link was anointed to work with Zelda to help stop Ganon.
Uh-huh.
There's your story.
That's it. That's the story.
They travel the world.
Uh-huh.
They find the divine beasts,
which
are giant robot animals.
I'm asking a stupid question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Were those type of things in the other games? No, right?
The divine beasts?
Yeah.
No.
Was there anything like remotely, or was that
Majora's Mask had like the 4 giants?
Yeah.
Or was that like the temples?
there's always like a certain number of something to collect in a Zelda game. Like if you're
so
like
mazes
Ocarina of Time had 3 child dungeons, and then 7 adult dungeons. No, 5.
There was
Forest, Fire, Water, Shadow, Spirit. Yeah, 5.
And then Light almost counted as 1, but they didn't want to do it. They just made it the Temple of Time, right?
It was just a rumor for Light.
Well, that's where you get the Light Medallion, right? They just give it to you in the Temple of Time?
Yeah, you start with that. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, there's always a certain number of things to do. So that's one of your main quests is to go get the Divine Beasts. Oh, by the way, guys, there's going to be spoilers in this video.
Yeah, a little bit. I love the Divine Beast, by the way. I like.
We're halfway into the spoilers, by the way.
Yeah, right. Yeah. By the way, we might say some things.
In Link's journey to go get these Divine Beasts, he also has to recover his memories in order to remember who the hell he is.
How does he lose his memories?
So he died and he was put into a...
So they decided to cheat in the fight against Ganon. Instead of just having Link do his thing and kill Ganon with Zelda's help.
So they used DLC robots.
They decided to use all these robots because it worked so well 10,000 years ago.
Yeah, of course.
But Ganon was ready for it. He didn't say anything because he doesn't say anything. But he showed up, took over all the Divine Beasts, and then just beat the shit out of everybody with the Divine Beasts.
Well, they don't even...
And the Guardians.
Well, one of my biggest problems with that is that 100 years ago in the story...
It still doesn't correlate, right?
Well, not even that. It's just that Link... You don't even fight Ganon. Like, they don't even lose to Ganon. They lose to, like...
They couldn't even get to Ganon.
They were trashed. Like,
you saw that Divine Beast laser blast that took out half Ganon's health?
But the Divine Beast didn't even stop them. It's the Guardians destroy everything. The Divine Beasts don't even do anything. They're just like, yo, what's up?
Well, when you talk to the Birdman with the accordion,
Falco.
Not Falco.
I love him though.
The Birdman with the accordion who tells you stories.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
When he tells you the story of 10,000 years ago, you see the way it's set up, where it's just a ton of Guardians, Link and Ganon in the middle, and then the 4 Divine Beasts on all 4 corners.
Yeah.
So if they tried to repeat that again, and Ganon took over, then they would have just had to run at that point.
In the original battle, like the memories battle.
And you see, Link is basically trying to get Zelda the hell out of there until he doesn't have enough energy to do it anymore. Ran out of food, ran out of heart pieces.
The dude just passes out. He's like, he was dead like 8 minutes prior. Like he's standing in front of Zelda, like.
And then think of the first time you went up against a Guardian.
Yeah, it was shit.
I hated fighting that Guardian. Except for shout out to Simeon for fighting it for like an hour.
Who stands? If I was after 5 minutes, if something doesn't die, I'm just like, I'm either terrible or I'm not supposed to be doing this.
Yeah.
So I definitely wouldn't stand there and fight him.
So anyway, they lost.
Back to the actual story that was at hand.
100 years later, 100 years prior, Link is put into the Shrine of Resurrection.
And who puts him there?
Impa, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
The old bitch.
Yeah, well, she's not old 100 years ago.
Yeah, I did it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
years ago,
Shinoai would hit Impa.
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect.
Yeah.
The old.
We don't condone violence.
Yeah.
You would hit that like when you see her now?
No, previously.
But you know what she looks like previously. You don't even see her.
I can tell because of how her pixelated graphics face looks.
What about her big head?
I like that.
You like? Okay.
I'm into big heads.
Well, as Japanese women get older, their heads get bigger
because of knowledge, obviously.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Just look at any anime.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Old women always have like real small bodies and huge heads.
Chibi, man,
from wisdom. So maybe she has the Triforce of Wisdom.
No, Zelda has the whole Triforce.
She has the entire Triforce.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe that. I think it glows when she. Which one is wisdom? Is it the
one of them didn't glow any more than the rest of them. So Link
all
loses.
Spoilers for me too. So I just want everybody to know who's listening to this is all spoilers for me too. So
he's currently playing.
Yeah,
now.
I'm literally currently in a labyrinth right now, and they're just telling me a whole bunch of things that I can't wait to actually see. So thanks, guys.
You get to live vicariously through us.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Yelling at each other.
It's fine. You guys don't know, but I'm just gonna switch our cartridges. He's like, no, I have to do this all over again.
I'll just eat one of the cartridges. I hear it tastes really good.
Yeah, it's the bitterant. They apply bitterant to it.
I know, yeah.
Which is why I'm so bitter about this game.
I was this close to licking mine. I really did think of licking mine.
Why?
Because it said it was a bitterant on it.
Yeah, I thought about it too. I just didn't do it.
Yeah.
But
because I don't want to be one of those people. You know what I mean? Like, oh, let me see.
What if you licked it like your whole game blew up?
That's why I didn't do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Game is not waterproof.
I mean, what if like my tongue put out some kind of acid?
Well, then you should get yourself checked.
Well,
Definitely
okay.
get
So
yourself
I
checked.
want to talk about the story memories. So the memories are the biggest part of the game and the biggest part of the story, right? You go in and find them.
yeah, sure.
So how many memories you found? You found just the ones from the Divine Beast?
I found the ones from the Divine Beast. I got the one for the sword. I found one in the middle of Timbuktu somewhere. A couple from Impa and stuff. But I haven't come across them. No, I went almost every. I've unlocked almost every area in the game, and I haven't come across them.
Did you translate the Sheikah text?
No, because I keep getting lost in shrines, man. As soon as I see that little glowing orange, bro, I'm going to it. You know
So
what
the
I'm
way
saying?
I found the memories, I didn't want to look up where they were because that's cheating? Question mark. I took the Sheikah text translator and meticulously translated the name of where every memory was, just the general
so
area.
good though.
That's like Zelda homework.
So
Yeah, it is.
if I got to a new area, I'd look around, I'd be like, ruins of Alderaan. There's a memory over there. And I would go there and I would look around and I'd find it.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's a decent like design style to put the memories scattered in the world and not tell you where they are and not put on the map because it's a huge map that they want you to explore.
Yeah.
So I mean, I definitely
Which I love. That is amazing.
I commend them for doing that, but it's the actual story that they tell. So, you know what? You said you this is your first Zelda, right?
Yes, sir.
Jeff, you've played every other Zelda.
Leading up to Breath of the Wild, I played through and completed every Zelda except for Zelda 1 and Zelda 2.
Wow, so that's dedication. That's preparation.
And Skyward Sword. But
Skyward Sword
I
doesn't
have
count.
completed Skyward Sword before, and I have completed Zelda 1 before.
Uh-huh.
Zelda 2 scares me. So I beat every single Zelda game before, besides Zelda 2. And 4 Swords.
Wasn't there 2 4 swords? There's a 4 swords adventure.
Yeah,
and
there's
then-
8 swords altogether.
So there you have 8 swords.
Yeah.
And you only how many swords do you get in Breath of the Wild? 150 swords.
At least.
And they all break immediately.
I hate that.
We'll get to that later.
I hate it.
But okay, so the story. So I forgot which one's the first memory, but the way I see the story is Link wakes up in his underwear and doesn't drown in the liquid. Because if it was me, I'm not comfortable laying on my back, so I would have rolled over and drowned myself.
Okay, so you are a newborn baby learning how to swim.
I don't think Link was sleeping.
He was like in stasis, right?
Yeah,
He's just,
so
he's just
Yeah.
If you're in
so
a coma, you're not going to roll over.
what if someone rolls me over? What if someone pulls the plug?
Like if one of Ganon's minions.
Yeah, what if
finds the
Ganon
shrine.
finds me? Calamity.
Like, well, the easiest way to deal with this is just rolls him over and drowns him.
Yeah, Calamity Nurse Ganon comes and pulls my plug when I'm in a coma. But that's neither here nor there.
All right.
So, Link wakes up in his underwear, and you meet the king, right? Who's essentially he's the king of Hyrule.
Yeah.
And
Zelda's
Yes.
And when you first see him, you're like, I know when I first see him, I'm like, this guy's clearly the king. I don't know who he's trying to fool.
I did it.
So, you talk to the king, and the king tells you the story about kind of what happened.
Like, yeah, he kind of gives Link some of like his own memory of what he did back and how it all led up to it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he basically says, I'll tell you the rest, but you got to go to the shrines first.
Right.
Yeah, so you go, you do the first couple of shrines, you get your runes, and then from there, you go out and about. You go to find the Divine Beast. He tells you about the Divine Beast?
Yeah.
So he tells you about the Divine Beast.
Yeah. He tells you how they got taken over, didn't he?
Yeah.
He did, right? Yeah. He tells you how they got swarmed by like Ganon, and then how everything ended up going to shit.
He gives you enough context to make you be like, I need to
to know
explore this world.
what the story is all about. Yeah.
All right, so you go to each Divine Beast, and inside there you get a memory of the champion before Ganon arrives.
Link's memory of the champion.
Link's memory of the champion
Yeah.
before Ganon's arrival. They're just preparing for him.
Yeah.
And Falco is a giant dick, right?
Yeah, he is.
He's just like, let's fly in the sky.
I hate him.
And then you can't fly.
Actually, I like him. I can't front. Like out of all those people I talk to in all Divine Beast stuff, I like him.
Well,
Yeah,
but-
I mean, he's like that guy that makes fun of handicapped people because they can't walk. Like,
But you can laugh
he's
because,
like,
because it's not you who
he's
said
like,
it.
how
You know
you
what
don't
I mean?
have
Of course.
wings, you
Yeah.
can't fly, you piece of shit.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, haha, you can't do this, but I'm going to help you do it. Like,
Well,
you know.
that's why he died. So, good.
Well, what about the
Yeah.
woman in the camel? Because I don't know what the name of the Divine Beast is. I don't think anyone actually knows the name of the Divine
the
Beast.
AT-AT?
What did he say?
The AT-AT. The one that stomps around
Sure,
in
I've
the
never
desert?
seen Star Wars, so.
What?
Oh, that thing.
Okay,
Oh,
but
ew.
so you get each memory while in the Divine Beast
Yes.
of them preparing for the battle with Ganon, and then if you're like Jeff or like myself who cheated and looked them up because that's just insane,
You looked up where all the memories were?
Oh, absolutely. I couldn't.
Did you?
Yeah.
So it finally came out that he looked up something.
I knew he would have. Yeah.
It finally came out. Yes.
I'm not going to sit there I graduated school. I'm done.
He's like, I got time for this no more.
Read. That's why they put in voice acting.
I can't read. What are you talking about?
All right, so let's say you've done all 4 divine beasts.
Okay.
Then you start your memory fetch quest.
Okay.
So you go on each memory.
How many of them is there?
I think there's like 13 or
something like that.
minus the divine beast ones that are
there's 12, and then there's a 13th one that you get for finding all 12.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, all right. So the memories after the divine beasts, I don't even remember. They're not memorable. Jeff, what are some of the memories after the divine beast?
Yo, all right. So here's the thing about me. I could watch a movie, and somebody could ask me 3 hours later what happened in that movie, and I would forget.
So you're not saying that the story's bad because you forgot. You're just saying that
he's just saying he just doesn't know what the hell he's.
All right, so I'm going to recant them as best as I can right now.
There was one where Zelda was mad at her dad because her dad was making Link
she was trying to. Yes, well, she was also studying the Guardians, right?
She was studying she was studying how to Zelda.
How to Zelda. She was trying to unlock the inner Zelda.
Yeah.
And then the king yells at her. She's upset. End of memory. Another memory is Zelda's out and about with her iPad taking pictures, and she yells at Link for following her and says, "Go back to the castle and tell my dad that you're not allowed to follow me anymore." And she fully knows that Link's mute and can't say that.
Of course, because Link.
Strike one, Jeff.
Okay, all right. Hold on.
Oh, it just came alive.
Sorry, I can counter that.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Link is not mute. Did anybody read Zelda's diary?
Yeah.
In Zelda's diary, it says that Link chooses to remain silent so that he doesn't stir up shit, basically. So when there's crazy conversations happening or political struggle or whatever's happening in the castle, Link knows that whatever happens in this conversation, he needs to bear the burden, but doesn't feel the need to contribute to the conversation.
But people ask him questions directly, and
then he responds.
I don't think but why wouldn't he speak with it? Like, there's sometimes another memory is Zelda specifically asks him a question and says, "Tell me, can you?" This is my Zelda voice.
"Tell me, lovely Link."
Link. But she's like, "Link, tell me, can rises."
The blood moon rises.
But she's like, "Link, tell me, can you really use that sword, hero?" And you just don't even respond. This is end of memory. That's cool. They just did that out of convenience so he wouldn't have to respond.
He responded.
He responded with
he just doesn't remember responding.
Dead silence.
He said,
"Uah!" Okay, right. I want everyone to hear this right now. Shinoy, don't answer me. Hey, Shinoy. Yeah, it's pretty bad, right?
I heard him.
You used telepathy to listen to him. That's
you heard me in spirit. That's what he heard me.
Link chooses to stay silent.
So he's it's like a vow of silence.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
it just makes him badass.
He doesn't speak?
Yeah, he's just a goon. I'm not really here to talk. I'm just here to fuck shit up.
He doesn't need to contribute anything to the conversation.
Except for these hands.
His job is to do whatever Zelda needs him to do. Imagine the main you're a king of a realm, right? And you have a sworn knight, a knight that's sworn to protect you. And you're on a journey, and he's right next to you. And you're out conversing with people and doing things like that. Is he going to be talking, or is he just going to be standing there keeping an eye out to make sure that nobody kills you?
Yeah, but if I ask him a question and he's disrespecting me as the king by not answering me.
No, he does answer you.
How's he answer me?
Nobody else hears him speak.
So he's an insane person?
No, so he can talk. He just doesn't 99% of the time.
Maybe he just talks very low.
Guys? Sorry, nothing. Never mind. Just continue. Oh, God.
Yeah, he's getting attacked by guardians.
Oh, gosh.
There.
No, I just got some freaking circlet that no one told me about, and I'm dying. I don't... There's a circlet!
Alright, so going back to the story is...
Okay. Sorry.
So you do your Divine Beast. You get the Divine Beast memories. You find out their struggle.
Sorry, I just traveled on. I left. I got the circle and these things came alive. I left.
So story-wise,
sorry. Spoiler: you will die in there if you're alone.
That'd be fine.
That's the spoiler for the Labyrinth is you'll die alone.
Absolutely.
That's also the main story of this game. But
to die alone.
I'll die alone in my apartment when the game ends. Was that really the end? But But all right, so the story: you get your divine beasts, you do their memories, and this is after Link wakes up 100 years later. So you go in there, you beat each divine beast, you fight the puppets of Ganon, which are cool fights.
Yes,
definitely cool fights.
Absolutely.
Except for Windblight Ganon, he was awful.
Yeah, you can kind of like Dark Souls.
He was really
just, like,
easy.
walk around him and just punch the shit out of him.
You don't even have to do that. You could just fly up in the wind currents that were all over the
him
place
to death.
and shoot him in the face over and over.
I used shock arrows because it was just hilarious, and then once I ran out of them, I just bombed him to death and was like, sit down, stop talking.
He didn't hit me once, I don't think.
Okay.
But he was easy.
So you beat them, and the champions thank you, for freeing their spirit. Even Falco, who's a dick, he's like, I lost, whatever.
And then you get a power.
They give you their powers. You get some more memories, and each memory kind of unravels the story that like Zelda and Link are. They're friends. I would say they're friends, but Zelda keeps exploring the world with Link protecting her. Some of the memories are kind of cool, like the Yiga clan attacks her, and of course she does the classic girl trip. Puts her hand in the air, like, "Oh, the fate of the world dies with me!" Like she doesn't even try and stop him.
I love
But
them.
Link steps up and defeats the Yiga clan guy that's trying to kill her. Right?
These guys are so good.
Those guys are terrible, but
I love them, man. Damn bananas, bro. Those guys are so good.
They're the only people loyal to Ganon without being like mind
controlled
by him, like because your sword doesn't glow when you fight them.
yeah, no, they're not like so they just choose.
They just choose to be on Ganon's side. I feel like you would probably join the Yiga clan.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But I would be the fat guy that crushes himself with the
The boss.
I'd be like, did I make this thing too big?
Like you would be on Link's side until
he
the
died.
end, until he took over all the divine beasts and the
We're
guardians, and you'd be like, right? He'd be that soldier that just sneaks out of the group, like,
Hey guys,
What's
I'm just
over
gonna,
here? I see Link over here. I'm gonna go. But all right, so story again
Okay, back to point again. Damn tangents.
is
So good.
you get the memories and you learn that Link was Zelda's trusted knight. Zelda's struggling to get the Triforce. The other champions are with them talking about when Ganon comes back. That's the plan. And then you have two other memories where one Zelda tries while praying to the goddess Hylia, but she's also the goddess Hylia. I don't remember who she's praying to.
Hylia?
Yeah, she's praying to some statue.
Okay.
Like a communist.
Most of those statues are Hylia, so.
But she's also Hylia. She's like the reincarnation.
She's the reincarnate. Yeah. So she's praying to her
self,
inner
So
goddess.
So that's a metaphor. Okay.
Yeah.
So she's praying. She's struggling with the Triforce, and she comes out off the mountain. She comes out off the mountain, and they're talking to the other champions, and they're like, "Oh, it's no big deal. We have some time." But turns out they don't have time, Jeff. They don't, because Calamity Ganon shows up right away, and they're like,
now what?
"We got to go fight."
All right, let's go. Yeah.
So they say, Link, obviously you were the one to fight, and you don't get a shield because this game would be way too easy if you had a shield. You wouldn't have died if you had a shield. So you charge up, and then one of the final memories is kind of cool. Is Link defending Zelda. Zelda tells him to leave, but since he can't talk, he doesn't say anything back. He just stands there defending her.
Yeah.
And then they're both kind of about to die to a guardian, and Zelda awakens like her demon spark and gets the Triforce and blows everything going up. And then Link passes out from exhaustion, or she team kills. Either way, Link falls.
Well, I don't think her, because that was like pure light. Like, that's like pure good.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically the same type of magic that she uses with the light arrows in the games to fight Ganon.
Okay.
So I don't think that would have actually done any damage to Link.
So he just kind of dies, quote unquote, to exhaustion, right?
Yeah, he was...
And some wounds that he
Which
made.
is very possible.
It was kind of like one of those, like, oh, thank God, like, Zelda's not going to die type of thing, and then he kind of passed out.
Okay, so then Zelda orders her ninja guards to take Link to the Chamber of
Secrets.
Superman's Solitude area.
Yeah.
Superman's
So he
Solitude
becomes
area.
the Fortress of Solitude to become
Superman's Solitude
come back.
area.
So he drifts away, and then Zelda returns to fight Calamity Ganon, right? Mm-hmm. But Calamity Ganon comes after her, and she gets trapped with him? Question mark. What happens there?
They never really quite explain what she was doing when she was fighting Calamity Ganon.
Yeah, because it's a story. We don't need an explanation of what's happening to them.
I mean, they leave it up to you. You're the player. You're the one exploring the world. So it's okay for you to make up things.
Not if I can't explore the world from 100 years ago, and you're telling me the story from 100 years ago.
Who cares about the world 100 years ago?
I care about the world.
Live in the
100 years ago.
moment. Zelda and Ganon are trapped in like this endless struggle. I have a feeling there's some kind of time thing going on to where they're kind of like maybe trapped in a time bubble.
Finding Ocarina of Time Link?
No.
Okay.
No.
What? What?
Fighting Dodongo.
Fighting Dodongo.
Yeah.
King Dodongo.
Yeah. But they're trapped in like a time bubble because Zelda doesn't age that whole time.
No, she doesn't.
And
so she's in like another realm or something.
Yeah.
Like, it's probably the Sacred Realm since you used the Triforce.
Yeah, she could have sealed
That
him,
makes sense.
sealed him in there, but like Calamity Ganon was just too strong, I guess.
His name is Calamity.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, so she was just keeping him in check until Link can come back and...
Yeah, so Link
Yeah.
comes back, and then here's the major spoiler of the game. So the battle with Ganon, you storm the castle, which pumps you up. That final memory you get before you storm the castle is just like, oh man, like you just see Link lose, you're back at it, you have all the gear. Jeff cheats and gets the amiibo gear. He has the big Goron sword. He's ready to go.
I used it only a few times in the castle.
He used it on a rock and it broke immediately.
Disclaimer, my Bigoron sword is now broken.
So it's the Giant's Knife.
No, it's just gone. Yeah, because when weapons break in that game, they explode into a pile of
Trillion
blue
pieces,
pixels.
and there's nothing you can do about
Does
it.
that make sense? Even the Master Sword thing like breaks when it's like runs out of energy. He's like,
Yeah.
you're like, oh no!
And then it just comes back?
Well, after like 10 minutes, which is the perfect amount of time for Link.
Yeah. Absolutely. I needed that.
That's enough time to cut down trees or mine
Absolutely.
the resources that I need.
All right, so you storm the castle.
Right.
You reflect all the beams, or you guardian arrow all the guardians, and you enter the sanctum. And after you've done all the divine beasts, you don't find any more puppets. Ganon falls from like a sack in the ceiling, like hits the ground. He hits the ground, and Link's like, "All right, let's do this." He takes out the Master Sword, and then he gets shot by like a Kamehameha blast from the divine beast.
Yes.
Takes it down to half health. Mm-hmm. You do your battle against him. You kind of wreck face for a little bit. He goes into his final mode. You reflect another beam at him. He falls to the ground, and you stab him in the face. You're like, "Wow, I just beat the game. I'm the hero." But that's not so. He transforms into a giant pig.
Yes, like which Ganon does. Well, a giant unstable pig.
He's like a hog. I wouldn't even say he's a pig at this point. He's just like he's a hog with the laser.
He's Pigma.
Yeah, he's Pigma. Yeah. He shoots a laser out of
But
his.
he takes on the form, the representation of the way he looked when he had a physical form.
Yeah, I think he's called like Dark Hatred and Malice Incarnate or something.
Because
like
Ganon cannot take physical form right now.
No. So during this battle, Zelda's kind of free, but not really. She can directly speak to you, and you pick up like her magic bow that shoots unlimited light arrows and is indestructible. And
Can't you get that from the amiibo?
No.
not this bow. This is like
That's what I heard, bro.
bro. But anyway, okay, so Zelda at certain points tells you where to shoot on Ganon. And I'm not going to say good or bad just to get through the story here. Zelda tells you where to shoot. You shoot him with the light arrows, and then eventually you shoot him in his stomach. And then the blood moon or something rises in the sky, and the sky turns red, and a giant eyeball pops out of the Hog Ganon's face. And
She says that's his core.
yeah, that's like the inner core of him.
Yeah.
So you're all hyped up now, and you ride your opponent if you have it, or whatever horse, directly to the front, and she says, like, use the updraft and his attack against him. So he laser beams, hopefully you dodge it. You see the updraft. You go up there with your diaper. You hang on with your diaper.
I love the diaper.
Yep, absolutely.
It's a good diaper.
You fly into the sky, and you're right above him. The eyeball's looking at you like you're looking right at Sauron. And you take out your Master Sword, and you plunge it right into his eyeball and kill him. Right, Jeff? Is that how it goes?
In my head, that is how that happened.
What really
That's how I
happens?
choose.
What really happens instead?
So what really happens is you float up on your diaper.
Yeah, absolutely.
You take out your Master Sword,
Uh-huh.
and you plunge down, and you
beat
get
his ass.
launched back by an invisible force field.
Yes, because it doesn't work. How do you actually have to kill him instead?
You just shoot him.
You just shoot him
Yeah,
with the light arrow. That's a little upsetting.
yeah.
So he dies that way.
No, he's not dead.
He
He kind of loses
he's
his
upset.
form.
He's upset. He goes back into Reaper Wraith mode, and he's like dodging everything.
Reaper
goes into
Wraith.
the sky,
Yeah,
and then Zelda pops out of the ether, and
Yeah.
she's in her white princess outfit. And Calamity comes back into focus. She puts her hand up and seemingly obliterates him. Like he just gets completely. The light explodes.
Yeah.
He kind of disappears. That's the end of it. She looks at Link. Even though you have all your memories, she looks at Link and says, "Do you really remember me?" A little bit of a tease there. And then the screen goes black and rolls credits, right?
yes.
So, okay.
Well, the reason she said that, I'm just going to interject here for a second, is because he doesn't really remember her.
He's just lying because he's a piece of garbage?
He doesn't say whether he has all his memories or not.
Because he can't say anything because he's mute.
Because he doesn't want to stir up trouble, so he doesn't say anything.
Okay,
he just prefers to text on his tablet.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. So he's a millennial. He's just texting.
Right. So everyone else there, they all have their own tablets with him. He just doesn't.
We lost him again.
I just died from one.
Yeah. Anyway, so what was I saying? So when she says like, I don't know if you really remember me or whatever she said, Link only remembers about
that she's a girl.
20 minutes of his past life.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense.
Like he got bits and pieces back, but he's nowhere near have his full memory. Like he doesn't even remember his like childhood.
She knew how much he didn't know.
Yeah,
that's why she asked him the question. So maybe it's because she has the Triforce of Wisdom, or maybe it's plot convenience. But he tells her like, "Oh, I don't think you really remember me, but thanks."
Well, it's like imagine like you get amnesia, and like
every day.
Yeah, I do too. But, and you walk into the room where your girlfriend is, right? The way you would look at her if you kind of knew who she was versus the way you would look at her if you had all those memories with her is completely different. So she looks at Link's face and she sees just in his eyes that like
that's not Link.
He's like, yeah, I know that we had a thing or we were hanging out together, but I don't really remember those years we spent together exploring Hyrule.
Okay. So, she says that, and you're either okay with it or not okay with it. The credits roll, you see some familiar scenes, and then after the credits comes a new scene, and it's Zelda and Link in their normal clothes, their adventure clothes.
Hero, yeah.
The hero garb.
Yeah.
And they're on their iPad, and they're saying something about something's going wrong with the divine beast or something like that. They're talking to each other.
Yeah.
And they said, let's go continue our work before Ganon.
I think it seemed like they implied that they were going to go back and visit all the divine beasts again to make sure everything was all cool.
Do some repair,
recon
seal the windows. And that's the end, right? That's the end. There's no other secret ending after that.
Yeah, and then Zelda plays the ocarina and sends you back to when you were a child.
It makes sense to recoup your 100 years.
And then you tell her that you don't feel like doing all this and don't go get the Guardians and Divine
Don't get me killed.
Yeah.
Don't do that. So, that's the story. That's the story. Now, Shanoy, this is the first time hearing the story, right? So you're
a lot of it is.
You're completely satisfied with the story, right?
I mean, from what I hear about that raggedy fight with Ganon, the way you guys described it probably would have been a lot better, but I mean, I guess the way it ends is the way it ends.
So the fight with Ganon is just easy. That's the problem with it. Yeah, it's an easy fight.
Are the beasts harder than he was?
Yeah, his puppets were definitely
Thunderblight Ganon was harder than he was.
That's corny.
A little corny.
I don't know if it was because I had the Hylian shield and I was deflecting everything because he kept like when he was like climbing on the walls and stuff, he would like stop. And he would like point his big laser beam at you, and he would go like beep 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 beep, and then he'd fire his big laser beam just like the Guardians do. Yeah. And I was just like no, and just reflected the laser beam right back at him. And that was pretty much, and then that would knock him down, and I could smack him in the face with my Master Sword, which did a ridiculous amount of damage to him.
Challenge accepted. I'm going to beat Ganon with all 12 damage weapons.
No, you need to beat Ganon in your underwear with a mop.
Yeah,
that's the true ending.
That's what speedrunners do.
Yeah, speed Shinoy. You can do that way.
But anyway.
I bet. I'm going to throw the switch out.
So, the fight with Ganon was easy. I wouldn't have cared if it was easy because there are other Zelda games where the fight is easy. Mm-hmm. The Wind Waker, easy.
Yeah, for the most part. He's just kind of blocks until he doesn't.
Yeah. Ocarina of Time, you have to figure out the gimmick. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's always a gimmick. Like, the only hard Ganon is, like, Link to the Past. Like, the 2D Ganons were always hard in the past. Because they would, like, one-shot you practically. Yeah. Unless you found out that you could, like, pause the game and do, like, the frame tricks.
And manipulate it.
Yeah. But the problem with Ganon was that he was a boring villain this time around.
Yeah, he had no dialogue.
I guess because, too, he didn't make any, like, cameos. He was just kind of...
Well, he was just waiting for you. In an egg sack.
Yeah, well, I think this is a good time to bring up... like you said Wind Waker or whatever. This is a great time to bring up... Because we're talking about story right here, not any mechanics. To bring up Ocarina of Time. And Shinoy is actually an expert on Ocarina of Time. So, Shinoy's going to go ahead. I'm going to give him about 3 minutes. We're not going to interrupt him. We're going to give him about 3 minutes to tell us the story of Ocarina of Time. So, okay, Shinori. Mm-hmm. You are the master of Ocarina of Time. Are you not? Correct. Perfect. So, like I said, what, 3 minutes we're going to give him? About 3 minutes?
I don't really need 3 minutes.
Now, obviously he's the master. So, Jeff, you and I, we can't interject because we can't stand in the presence of the master.
Right, yeah.
No matter what he says is the truth of Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, no, I don't play that game every couple of months or anything.
Yeah, no way. No. Absolutely not. I haven't beaten it like 48 times.
Yeah.
And here we go. Right now is Sean. Take us away.
All right, so basically, this is how the game starts. So the game starts and they're in Brooklyn. And as they're in Brooklyn, there is a guy named Sheik, right? And the guy named Sheik actually meets up with this other female named Zelda. Now, Zelda is actually from Queens, and they hate each other. But, you know, I mean, it's kind of like one of those fucking Cinderella stories, right? So they actually get together, and they notice that they look in the window of this store, and there's this weird instrument. I believe you guys would know it as an ocarina. I don't know what is that. I'm not going to tell you what I know it as because I know the real life story of it, but I'm going to call it the ocarina because you guys know it as the ocarina, right? So they get so the whole point of this actual game is to get the ocarina. So they actually had to sell drugs. They actually had to walk the streets late at night. They also had to fight a boss. I know you guys know him as Ganon, but I don't know if you guys knew or not that Ganon is actually a drug cartel from Venezuela, right? So he actually ended up buying the ocarina
from where? Where did you buy the ocarina?
So he actually bought it from a Walmart. So when he brought it, they were like, "Yo, look. We need this for our house, right?" And he was trying to tell them, "I'll sell it to you, but you got to give me $50,000."
She can sell this house.
Yes, exactly.
She can live together now.
Yeah.
Okay, one's from Queens, one's from Brooklyn.
Right.
All right, so they moved.
Yeah,
in.
come on, Jeff.
Okay.
I thought you played it every single day.
Exactly.
I didn't interrupt there.
They all live in. They actually live in Manhattan now.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Nice. Give them off for themselves. All right.
Right.
Hyrule Manhattan.
Hyrule Hatton.
Yeah.
High Hatton.
That's on
High
8th
Hatton.
Street.
Yeah.
Okay.
8th and 53rd.
Perfect.
Yeah. So for them to so the real journey of this begins is that at the end is like, look, I need my $50,000. So like, okay. So this is when all the drug trafficking begins. This is where all of the credit card swiping and everything happens. And ultimately, they make $150,000. So not only do they get the ocarina back, they have Ganon killed, and then they move to California.
Right. Because the $150,000 is like the Triforce, $50,000 a piece.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So ultimately, Ganon's defeated.
Yeah, they killed him.
Yeah, absolutely. And then,
Well, they didn't kill him because they had to keep their hands clean.
The reason it's called Ocarina of Time is because it took a lot of time for them to get the ocarina.
Exactly.
And they stored the drugs in the ocarina.
And the ocarina was more of a symbol than anything else.
Yeah, it was just something that they wanted to have for themselves, and it was someone in their way of getting it, so they had to take care of it in the best way that they knew how to.
Yeah. I mean, I wholeheartedly agree. Absolutely. And the story of Ocarina of Time, in my opinion,
it's more true to life. It's easier to relate to.
But but in my opinion,
it was a good year when that game came out. You know?
Absolutely, it came out in 1486, the perfect time, golden age of gaming. I mean, it was amazing.
Yeah.
So, but
a little bit before Columbus discovered America.
Just that right niche before he discovered America, which is why Breath of the Wild is so perfect because it's an open world, much like Columbus's open world of America.
Yeah, and when Columbus was traveling the world, not the world, but traveling America, or the found continent.
Absolutely.
He was, climbing the towers and uncovering his map.
On the Great Plateau.
Uh-huh.
When he brought his iPad with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course he did. He had Columbus's iPad.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely. Yeah. So now, but...
Glad they used real history when...
Otherwise, there'd be nothing to compare it to.
Otherwise, the game would just be horrible. So.
Absolutely. So, for me, Breath of the Wild story, take or leave it, is what it is. Compared to Ocarina of Time story. So in Ocarina of Time, you always want to defeat Ganondorf/Ganon. Always. I know...
Not always, but yeah.
But that's always kind of like lingering. So as you go from dungeon to dungeon, you're just like, I'm doing this because of that dick I met in Zelda's castle. So think about it. The first time you meet Ganondorf, he's kneeling down before the king, and Zelda's like, I don't really trust the guy, and he specifically looks over his shoulder at the two characters, and because Link is the link between you and the player, you're just like, wow, why is that guy looking at me? I'm uncomfortable.
The interesting part about that scene, though, which I love, is that glass, he can't see them from that glass.
Yeah, but it's like he almost like knows. Like he's like drawn to that wherever they're standing. It's like it's one way. So the next time you see Ganondorf is you got all the crystals, right? You got all the fuck are those things? Fragments.
So the Deku Tree gives you some story. He gives you a little bit of insight about Ganon, and you see a little bit, or Ganondorf, and you see a little bit of him in his like backstory. Mm-hmm. But that's and then the next time is when you get the 3.
Yeah, so you get 3 spiritual stones.
Yep.
Because Zelda's like, you need to get the 3 spiritual stones. Like it has to happen. So you get your 3 stones from the Deku Tree, from Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah, from Deku Tree, Dodongo's Cavern, and Jabba Jabba's Belly.
Yeah, Jabba the Hutt. Perfect.
Yeah.
So after you have those, you're running back on Hyrule Field.
Uh-huh.
And you get to the main gate, because you're just like, I gotta go talk to my girl Zelda.
Yeah.
I did what she wanted. And then she comes with Impa on the horse, booking it past you, and you're just like, but where are you going? I did your thing.
Yeah.
And she's
Such
like...
a good Zelda impression.
Absolutely.
So
flawless every time.
So
and she's just like, Link, like, hoobadiga, and she throws, like, an orc ear into the water, which happens to be the Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, you don't know what she threw.
Right, it looks like an orc ear.
Yeah.
So you're just like, okay, so clearly I need to go get that. Mm-hmm. But then the man himself, Ganondorf, comes back on his horse, and he stops you, Link, specifically, and he's like, did you see which way they went? And rather than Link being a punk, like, as a kid, he takes out his little, like... Yeah. Toothpick sword.
Once again, he doesn't say anything.
He doesn't say anything because at that time
he doesn't need to say anything.
Because there's no voice acting in the game other than hoo-ha-hee.
Yeah, but he could have dialogue.
He could have, but no one had dialogue in the game, so we're going to accept that.
Everybody had dialogue except for him.
Well, no, they had hoo-ha-hee.
Right, but there was text that you could...
but he said yes and no. There was text for yes and no in that game. But that's neither here nor there. So Ganondorf comes up, speaks to you specifically, where did they go? Link's not a punk, so he takes out his little sword, and I think... if you had it at the time, Healing Shield on back or Deku Shield. And Ganondorf basically laughs specifically at you and like hits you with like a little light beam on the ground. And it's like, oh!
He charges up a cool little energy blast. And...
yeah, shoots you to the ground. And you're like, so right away the player is like, wow, I really hate this guy. Like, first encounter, I'm mad. And he has dialogue. He knocks him to the ground. And now we're going to fast forward. So you do your dungeons. You don't necessarily see Ganondorf anymore, right? Except for...
well, you've already done the dungeons after he does that.
No, I mean as a kid. So that's the first time you see... well, second time you see him as a kid.
Yeah, you grab the ocarina.
You grab the ocarina and you run to the Temple of Time, right?
Yeah.
You run past all the...
because when you pick up the ocarina, there's a little cutscene where Zelda like speaks into the ocarina.
Yes, it's like the memory. Mm-hmm. So you run into the...
so you collect memories.
Haha, one memory. You run to the Temple of Time and you put the spiritual stones on there and you play the Song of Time to open the door, right? And then the slave that's behind it pulls the door. He's been there the entire time. It's just one job. He pulls the door.
He's a Goron.
He's a Goron. You see... the coolest thing is that you...
He's a Goron.
But the coolest thing is that you see the Master Sword in the distance, right? You're just like... this has been the whole thing. I need to... so you run and get it. Link jumps on top of that, pulls the Master Sword, and then...
13 hearts.
It like fades to white, right? And he passes out. And you don't need 13 hearts this time.
Damn. Right.
Pulls the Master Sword, passes out, and you wake up and you're like... a grown man. And you're like 17. Mm-hmm. You wake up and you're like, oh man, everything's different. Like, Link's holding the sword differently. He can wield the shield. And the second you walk out of the Temple of Time, you realize everything's messed up. Like, you're just like, this is what that Ganondorf guy did? Now I'm even more upset. So you do the rest of the dungeons. You sometimes have to go back in time a couple of times to become a kid. And then eventually you're storming Ganon's castle. You solve his puzzle. You cross the Rainbow Bridge. Go in there, do some basic dungeon fighting stuff. Then you eventually walk through this really long staircase and you find Ganondorf. He's playing in the accordion the entire time as you walk up the staircase.
Yeah.
He's like, bah, bah,
you don't know that. And
you don't know that.
There,
and
he's like, oh my god, he's making the music. That's awesome.
Yeah, because he had 7 years to become an aficionado in whatever that is.
I mean, he's evil, so he's automatically good at playing the organ.
He was born. He was born.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I heard that.
I used to use an organ once.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then
you changed your ways.
Yeah, exactly.
You joined us.
You're not evil anymore.
Exactly.
Because, absolutely.
Yeah, but I still have it. It's at my house.
So you run up there. Ganondorf speaks to Link again directly. More dialogue.
But now you have like the mirror shield on your back.
You're
you
ready.
got, like,
you have the
the
master sword, hopefully the giant's knife,
all the
hopefully a
equipment.
bottle so you can reflect his laser, just in case. So you're ready to go. You have all your shields, like you're ready, and then he laughs at you.
Yeah.
He's just like, "Ha! Thanks for coming. Like, enjoy the show." And he starts doing like his powerful thing with his Triforce. Link starts freaking out. Navi gets shot away, and your Triforce activates, and then Zelda's like, "Gasp!" or something. I think she says gasp.
She goes, huh?
Don't quote me.
Yeah.
So they gasp. And then the Triforce is revealed that all three parties have the Triforce, which is seeming to be Ganondorf's plan to get them all together so he can harness the power. So Link's like, once again, I'm not a punk. You're not going to do this.
Let's get it popping.
Let's get it popping. That's what Link. That's the only dialogue Link says.
Exactly. Let's get it popping.
Yeah. He says that every time he walks up to a boss. He's like, let's get it popping.
Let's get it popping.
Draws the Master Sword. He's ready to fight.
For that.
You do your backflip thing. He starts shooting lasers. You play a small game of volleyball. You beat him in volleyball. He's all upset, and then you strike him down.
Tennis.
Yeah, tennis. You strike him down with a kind of like a plunging attack a little bit. I don't remember how you strike him down.
You deflect his thing.
Yep.
He gets stunned in the air.
Hit him with the light arrow.
Shoot him with a light arrow. He falls. You hook shot over to him, and then you stab the shit out of him.
Oh, I never hook shot over. I just jumped with my hover boots on. So I just roll over there and be like,
You had hover boots?
yeah, man.
So that game had cooler armor than Breath of the Wild?
Well, of course you know this, that you're the expert on.
I mean, it is true, but,
You're just confirming with us that there were hover boots in there because we
Remember
lost mine.
those boots that Zelda and Sheik bought from that guy in Manhattan on the street?
Yes.
like
from
they
the
thought
back
they were
alley.
real
Okay.
Nikes, but they were not.
Yes.
Yeah.
I lost mine in my game.
Oh, that makes sense.
Okay, yeah.
Yours broke.
They're
because
on
of
a
durability.
telephone pole somewhere hanging.
Yeah, It was a side quest. I don't know if you guys ever found it, but it was actually like an in-game side
You can
quest.
get them back. But
Okay, no.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
you gotta get-
if you have
okay.
the lens of truth, you can find those.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
makes
Okay.
sense.
Okay, so I gotta go back and do that.
yeah,
I apologize, I didn't know that.
So you hook shot over, or Adidas hover boots over,
Yeah.
and you strike him down, and he's like, and if you play the original, he spits out red blood, not this nonsense green blood that the newfangled kids of today you see. He spits it out, and he's just like rah rah rah, and
Yeah.
then I think Zelda talks to you again. Does she talk to you again right from there?
Yeah, he like falls over, and then like the whole castle, like he says, "I'll take you down with me."
Yeah,
basically.
he gets back up like I'm not being defeated by some kid, and he kind of like Majin Vegeta's the entire castle.
Yes, and then the castle starts falling down, and Zelda appears, and she's like, "Link, we gotta get out of here."
Right.
So you run out the whole castle with Zelda following you,
Which is an ingenious design because you see a time limit. So like very few times in the game you have a time limit. And as you're running down there, like the skeletons and the Stalfos, whatever they're called, they're trying to stop you. And they specifically stop you, and you have to beat them at one point because the iron bars come down.
and Zelda opens the bars for you.
Yeah, afterwards.
If you get Link in the right position, you can make it look like she's giving him a little kiss.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
So you completely do that. You run to the very bottom. It collapses. Dust shoots out the door. And Zelda's like, woo! Thank God that's over, right? And of course it's over because, why wouldn't it be? But then Ganondorf, seemingly, pops up from the debris of the fallen castle, like Frieza, and he's like, again, breathing, but then he busts out the Triforce of Power again, and his eyes are all like white and glowing, and you're like, uh-oh. And then he transforms into this ridiculous-looking Ganon pig thing with two golden swords. Link's staring up at Ganon, he's huge, he has his two golden swords, and you're just like, let's get ready to fight. And you're just like, okay, let me draw the Master Sword. And here's the genius design of that game. So much importance was put on the Master Sword, and Ganon's just like, ha! Slap! And slaps the Master Sword so far away, and it like lands right next to Zelda, and you're like, uh-oh. And hopefully you had the big Goron sword at that point to fight him, but then you're stuck with using like a bottle, your light arrows, the Megaton hammer to try and get him until it breaks. So fast forward, you defeat Ganon, you hit him to the ground, and you do the iconic 1, 2, 3 slash into the face.
Yeah.
Sword stuck in there. He's all pissed. He starts screaming. And then Zelda's like, 6 sages now! They all appear. They shoot him with the Kamehameha Blast. They seal him away into the realm. And then he curses them again, saying like, I curse you. I'm going to break out of this. I'm going to hunt all your family down. Mm-hmm. But, end of list. And then the story continues. And they meet with Zelda in the past. But the story of that is that Ganon and Ganondorf was such a developed character, and you learn to hate him with the story. And jumping back now, we have Breath of the Wild, which I still think is a fantastic game. Don't get me wrong.
You also get little tidbits too with Ganondorf. Like when you go to like the Water Temple, you find out like Zora's domain is frozen
because
Lake Hylia is drained. Like everything is screwed up because of Ganondorf.
Dodongo's pissed.
It wasn't Dodongo, it was Volvagia that was the boss. But yeah,
Vulcan.
like the Gorons were trapped in the Fire Temple because of Ganondorf.
Right.
Yeah, like everything is just, all this crap is screwed up because of Ganondorf.
Yeah, so you specifically blame him. And, you know, that's pretty much the story in a nutshell. And then we fast forward now to Breath of the Wild, which I think gameplay and everything you can do is amazing in the game. The story to me, I don't know about you guys. You know, you said this was your first Zelda. Just played all the Zelda. For me, I do play Zelda games, one for the explanation, but first and foremost, I play for the story. That's why I think a lot of fans are obsessed with the timeline, because they're also obsessed with the story.
Right.
So, going to this one, where you have like a semi-weak story where the villains, like, they assume you know all these characters. Like, so this is Shinoi's first game. Like, he has to assume he knows Link. He has to assume he knows Zelda. Assume he knows the King. But you know, that's a lot of people's first Zelda. Actually, kind of like Ocarina of Time was a lot of people's first Zelda. And in this one, Ganon's there as like an omnipresent being that you're kind of mad at because you don't directly lose to him. You lose to a cause of him.
That's what he does.
Yeah, you see the aftermath 100 years later, but because he either has no dialogue or he doesn't. If he was there in, let's say, the memories, like each memory or the majority of the memories, he was
moment of him doing something.
He was kind of there, like you could see him doing there. I mean, it wouldn't make sense because those are Link's memories and he didn't directly. But other types of memories that you get, maybe once you pulled the Master Sword, maybe if there were actually real dungeons in this game, you could have experienced those.
It should have been in the memories that was shown, like. Each, like, so you know how, like, each town that you go to for the Divine Beasts, and then you have that one, like, head leader person you had to talk to, probably should have had a memory about what Ganon did when he talked to them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because they're like, yo, we need your help for this, that, and the third, and here's why. Mm-hmm. And then have like a little backstory of what Ganon did to them specifically to take over their Divine Beast and why that happened. Probably would have added a little more in depth to it,
yeah. Yeah, you're right. And one of the points, like, you find a lot of ruins. Like, you find, like, the ruins of Lon Lon Ranch.
Which is really cool. Like, that's the strongest part of the game is your experience.
Now,
that either, so there you
go. If they were ruins because of Ganon, then that would be a bigger deal. Because all those ruins, like, nothing in that game got destroyed because of Ganon. Like, that's...
It's just kind of everything... Fallout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything was pretty solid. The only thing that was affected was...
Like, it was basically the immediate area around Hyrule Castle was all screwed up. Like, Hyrule Castle was destroyed because of Ganon.
Right. So you see his presence always around the castle.
Yeah.
But you don't see it in the actual town.
You, in Ocarina of Time, you fix things. You fix the problems that he caused. You save Darunia from inside of the Fire Temple. You save people that Ganon screwed with as you go, so you could be like, well, I just reversed what you did. You don't quite reverse anything in this game either.
Yeah, you just kind of like...
You see it. Like,
go. Yeah. This is something you need to do and go, which...
And, like, people aren't, like, freaking out about it either. Like, you talk to like townspeople and stuff, and
they're like, oh no, Ganon did this.
Because it's been 100 years, and Zelda's holding it back, and the people don't know that...
They're, like, numb to the fact that there's this giant red spirit floating around the
castle.
We
just don't go over there. We don't go to that part of town.
Yeah.
Like, it's way too evil for us. We're not
but this still should have been, like, I agree with that. Like, it should have just been more... Like, because that game is huge. Like, in real life, for that game to be as big as it is, because, I mean, in general, I mean, the game, even just the literal size of that game is huge. It's like, what, 28 gigs or something? Like, the game's huge. Yeah, if you did not have an elaborate backstory on a game that's that big in general, of just a few extra pictures and a few extra text, it could have made the game a little more full.
Well, I can get that... more to Jeff's credit, that the journey as you experience it can also tell the story, but I just don't feel like there's a lot of story within the journey. Like, you're finding it, and because it's too assumptive, like Jeff says, you find Lon Lon Ranch. Shinoy doesn't know what Lon Lon Ranch is. He's just like, well, this looks more broken than that one looks broken, and it kind of looks more put together.
Yeah.
So you fight the puppet Ganons in each temple, but if during your journeys, like if Ganon decided to, even though he's being fought, held back kind of by Zelda's power. Like in the other games, you actually, in Ocarina of Time and Wind Waker, you fight Phantom Ganon, not randomly in specific. In the Forest Temple, you fight him. In the Forsaken Fortress, you fight him. In Ocarina of Time and Wind Waker respectively, I'm sorry. But in this game, because the game's so big, instead of the Yiga clan randomly spawning, like when you're in the world and being like, you're Link and I want to lick you or something.
And then I blow him up with a bomb arrow.
You blow him up with a bomb arrow. It's like, bitch, get away. If that was like different powers and random encounters with Phantom Ganon, you'd feel more connected to it. Because that's where
you're leading up to.
Well, that's where this is Zelda's, for the most part, other than Wind Waker-esque, biggest open world game and a direct open world game. And sometimes it's hard to tell a story in an open world game because you're giving more power to the player. The player's like, rather than do this, I'm going to do that, which is out of the developer's hands. But while they're, picking berries and cooking things, not while you're cooking things, but while they're exploring, to still have the presence of the story, like, pecking at you.
Like, hey, I'm still here.
Like, I'm still here, remember. Like, don't forget at any time I can mess with you. And that's kind of why Navi was there, even though she was super annoying and hand-holding. But they could have done something like that.
Mini bosses, even. I mean, because there were some in the game, obviously. I mean,
the
you
world
got the
bosses.
rock guys and stuff like that. But even if they threw him in there, or like before you entered each town, they had like a small piece of him that guarded off each town, just in case someone from back in those days would come back. You'd have to defeat him first to get into that town. And like, hey, look, guys, I'm here to help out and do whatever I got to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that would have been probably cool as hell. If they had like a little small, side thing you had to do is for you to get to Zora's domain, you had to beat a little piece of Ganon. Mm-hmm. That would have been cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because also another spoiler alert, after you beat the game, much like any other Zelda, you could still fight Ganondorf, whatever his game it is, at any time. It just undoes the story for just a little bit and you can redo it. So imagine in the same respect that, for the most part now, unless I really want to see the ending again, I'm not going to go back and beat Ganon again, because the battle was trash.
I might loot the castle again.
Yeah, you might loot the castle, but the battle itself was kind of like not the best. So I don't necessarily want to experience that. But in the same context, like, I want to experience the ending again if I leave, and now this is end game content, I'm doing other side quests. Because the boss is still there, Phantom Ganon can now still spawn in quote-unquote end game to remind me that there's still this thing. So
that would be cool too, and then it would also lead into like another game.
I would have liked it the opposite way, whereas like this is the one Zelda game that I wanted Ganon to stay dead.
You wanted to cleanse it.
You wanted to be like over?
I wanted to not over, but like if you killed him, and the whole ending happened, and then you could continue to explore Hyrule. Like maybe Zelda says, "All right, well I'm gonna go try to fix the castle or rebuild the castle or something. So I'll be here if you want to talk to me." And like that way, you could still go and get Korok seeds and do stuff, but Ganon would be dead.
And I think you
and
said
you could look at the castle and just see like the destroyed remains of it, with maybe some people in there trying to fix it.
That'd be cool.
Well, I think you said it a couple of days ago. There's a side quest after you've you buy your house, you completely fix it. Another construction worker leaves to Lake Hylia, I think. You find him again, and he rebuilds an entire town. And that's a quest. It's like, hey, I need wood, go get me wood. I need X, Y, and this, go get me this. And you rebuild a town, and this way you have more convenient shops, right?
That sounds fun as hell.
So,
I don't know that either.
So imagine endgame to what Jeff says. You defeat Ganon, he doesn't respawn, the world's kind of fixed. Maybe there's still some enemies, but the Blood Moon maybe doesn't happen, so they can't respawn, which could hurt replay value. However, now that that's done, Zelda, being the princess, quote unquote, would now have to become Queen Zelda. Right. She would have to hire construction and hire builders to rebuild Hyrule Castle. So that could have been a quest in itself, is now rebuild Hyrule Castle. So then you can maybe forceful explore, but also willing, other ruins that you would get to, like the labyrinth you're on. Maybe after you solve a piece of the labyrinth, they could have added like real other things, part of constructions to help rebuild parts of the castle. Maybe after that could be it. Maybe after you defeat Ganon, the world doesn't reset per se, but it resets certain items as other quest items. Like, oh man, like this would be really good for making a door or something, or like you find a super ancient core that can power a certain barrier in the castle. So that'd be really cool to have something.
That'd be cool, but that's not really where I was going with that. But because now you're adding on to the gameplay part of it, which I feel like is already really, really good. But
if he was able to just rebuild the actual castle, that would have been okay.
That's all you needed. Yeah.
Yeah, like, instead of having to rebuild the whole shit, like, the whole game, that would have been crazy.
Maybe not rebuild the whole game.
But like, if you were able to rebuild the castle by finding this and getting that and getting those pieces and things of that nature, that probably would have been dope. Like, maybe if they put certain pieces you needed for it in each of those 4 main towns again. You know what I mean? So you had to go back to Zora's domain, and then you have to do this there, you know what I'm saying? Or then you had to go back to where the Gorons are, and you know what I'm saying? Like, that would have been something pretty cool, too, I think.
So the reason you can't in every other Zelda game, the reason that you can't beat Ganon and have him stay dead is because the world doesn't always continue in the same manner.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everything would be different after Ganon was defeated, and then it would have to be like a whole new game. In this game, they could do that because, you know, Hyrule isn't going to fix itself overnight. So, like, you would still feel like the way I feel right now. Like, I'm not going to go back and kill Ganon.
Yeah.
Unless I find out that, you know, unless I found out that I can permakill him at some point. Like, if the DLC comes out.
That'd be cool.
And then you can go and permakill him.
With the Master Sword this time, goddammit.
Yeah. Or, you know, the DLC comes out and it's like, well, you thought Ganon died, but really he went over here.
Yeah, but Zelda's Triforce act. She only had one part of the Triforce, and he's good to go now.
Yeah. But I wish he was dead. I wish I didn't see him all the time when I looked at Hyrule Castle because I don't care about him anymore.
Yeah.
I'm like, I beat you in my
So
brain.
you were trash, man. I mean, the
Yeah.
Lynels are stronger than me. I don't care about that. Yeah, so that's how I feel about the story in a way too, and I think
Zelda Sims, man.
Zelda
2020, yo.
Well, I mean, we talked about story enough.
Rebuild it. You know
I think a couple of quick things. Gameplay mechanics. I think they gave us like a lot of freedom to work with. There was,
yeah, they did.
I mean, we were talking days and days. Like, did you know you could do this? Did you know you could do a slow-mo arrow?
Yeah.
Jeff's like, did you know that while you're on your diaper, you could drop bombs? And I'm like, what?
Wait, can you?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
you
see?
can airstrike.
Right there. You can
How?
tactical nuke from the sky.
If your bomb is selected for your for your power,
Yeah.
and you're in the air, you press the button to use your ability.
I didn't know
It drops
that.
from the sky.
And a bomb just falls out.
What?
Yeah.
And you
Yep.
can press to ignite it too.
Because that makes me think about when we were all talking. We were talking about how we all did shrines differently.
Yeah.
I remember I sat with Jeff for like 15 minutes. We were just talking about shrines. Like, yeah, I did that, but I did it this way. And I was like, oh no, I did it that way. And then you told me something. I was like, I didn't know.
I just planted a bomb and blew up the whole thing.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't even think of doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's cool too, where the game doesn't give you one set way of doing necessarily anything.
Yeah.
Only thing you have to really one set way to do it is do the Divine Beast, and even still,
There are
you
ways
can kind
to
of
cheat that too,
figure out a different
Yeah.
way to go about it.
Like,
you know
I feel
what I'm
like there was a couple times where I would rotate it in such a weird way that I would kind of skip a platform that I may not have been able to.
Yeah,
I've done that. Or
even
would
if
you glide slightly to the wrong place, but you
Well,
get
also,
there.
if beating other Divine Beasts, like, well, actually, the main Divine Beast, if you beat the bird first with Falco, and he gives you his, Falco punch, you're able to jump.
Makes
in the
everything
sky.
easier.
Yeah, that really opens up a lot
I
of things.
just did him yesterday, so I
Boom,
was
got
going
him.
through it. Well, the first one I did was the Zora's Domain.
Okay.
Which is pretty easy.
Yeah, so gameplay mechanics, you get a lot of freedom. The runes are really cool, like upgrading the runes, freezing someone in time, and making them screw up.
Stasis is so great.
The Magnesis one, like dropping like a metal thing on someone from the
way
sky,
high up, yeah.
or just turn around real quick and whopping them off a cliff. I do wish they added the ability to kind of like suck a metal weapon right out of their hands, and they're like, "Nani!" and they had to like, go fight.
I think too that the AI is really smart. Like, I loved being in the forests, and while you're in the forest and you're not doing anything, and then like you see what the fuck are they called again? The
Vulcans or whatever.
the little troll dudes, and when as you see them fighting other animals to eat them. I thought that was so cool. Like, you can sit there and you see them, and they're like shooting arrows at them, or they're throwing spears
the AI
and stuff.
has an agenda. They're doing things. Well, you tell me it was raining one time, and everyone ran inside like, "Oh shucks, we gotta wait for the weather to end."
Like, it's not like they're just preloaded and just waiting for you to be near them.
Yes, so
they're actually doing shit.
Or you'll hear a
around.
scream in the distance, and you'll look and see, and there's like a lady with a backpack.
Right.
In the corner, yeah.
And you have to help them. Like,
and you know
I
that
thought that was good.
It just happened to be that she walked past
one of
where they
the
were,
camps,
and it just caused an issue.
and they saw him and blew the horn.
I also
one
love
of those
seeing
horns. They
all
should
the
let you get that.
that would be good.
And just make enemies come running towards you.
I also love I love whenever you can throw the skeletons' heads off of how you just kick them. You're just like, I hate you, and you just.
Or
kick
I
them
still
off.
haven't had one of the big hobgoblins take the little one to throw them at
You
me.
haven't had that?
No,
it
I'm
happens
waiting.
all the time.
I'm waiting
bro.
for that to happen.
He's like, the hell with it, and just throws the little guy, and then he almost dies majority of the time too. It takes like half his health, and he's just dizzy somewhere.
But I think that's that speaks a lot to the game play aspect. It's giving you players a lot of freedom. I think more often than not in open world games, it's a lot of times they say no, quote unquote, metaphysically. But in this game, there's a lot of yeses. You're like, can I take this? Like the first time I punted some dude's head off the cliff, I
lost my mind.
I wanted to throw his head off the cliff. I was like, ooh, screw this guy.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah, I did too.
Link punted his head, I was like, yes, that's the decision I wanted to make. Dropping bombs from the sky, freezing people, smacking them with things.
Yeah. It gives you a lot of imaginative openness. You know what I'm saying? Like where you can literally just do random things you wouldn't expect yourself to be able to do.
There was just once where I was on like a really high cliff, and I was like, there's a bunch of enemies in my way, things like that, and there was one of those big guys. So I hit him a couple times, and I'm like, wow, this guy's taking forever to kill. So I kind of I ran back. There was a metal box there. I saw it before. Yeah. I just picked it up and I just went boop and just bunched him right off the cliff with it.
Push him. He's like, no.
The best thing that I do, because I do that too, but what I do is I'll actually freeze them. And you just walk into them and they just slide.
Oh. Well, you can Korok leaf them afterwards.
Oh, yeah, that's so right. I haven't done that. I've literally just bumped into them. But there's been times where I tried to hit them, but then the sword pokes them. I'm like, come on, man. And then they just...
Well, what I'm trying to do, which I haven't been successful yet because I'm trash, is...
trash bags.
Is you get your raft and you put an equal amount of the octoballoons on it, so they would fly.
Oh,
and then you have a Korok leaf, and you can go around the world just shooting down on people. That's my dream now.
That is true.
You need a lot of octoballoons because they pop in like 10 seconds.
Okay, so
do they?
So farm octoballoons.
I
storm Gavin's castle that way. It's like, motherfucker, I'm coming.
There was actually a video like that. Somebody flew the boat. Yeah, flew the boat to Ganon's castle.
Yes.
Like, but you have to keep going like 1, 2, 3, 4 octo balloons in the middle, and then like right before they're about to pop, throw like another 4, and then they would pop and it would keep floating.
So you're just timing it.
Can we talk about how the first time we ever found one of those?
Can you stasis the raft while it's up flying in the sky, or no? Because it's wood.
It's wood. You can't stasis wood. I don't think.
I don't know if you can stasis.
The only thing you can stasis is you might be able to because you can stasis the barrels.
We gotta give it a try.
Yeah, because you can stasis the barrels because, like, you know how, like, the little troll dudes, like, when they pick up something, throw it at you, you can stasis it.
Yeah, and they throw nothing.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So you can do that.
Disobey laws of physics.
Yeah, I hate this game. Can we talk about I don't know if it had the same effect on you guys, but when those little balloon dudes popped out on me and I didn't know what was happening, it freaked me out.
Balloon dudes. You first got hit by a rock?
Yeah.
The Octoroks,
Yeah, I was like, what is
I think it's a different experience for Jeff and us because they're in every game.
Okay, see, I didn't, bro, all I heard was, and I just keep seeing these rocks fly past, and every time I turn around, it'd be gone. I was like, why is this happening?
It's getting trolled.
And what happened was, I literally stood still. I just stood there, and I just continually just looked around, and I was like, oh, he's there. And then from then on, I went on a troll mountain to kill every last one of them I find, because I hate them.
Yeah.
But it freaked me out, bro. I was like, why is this a thing?
As a Zelda fan, if you did play all the other Zelda games, I mean, besides Ocarina of Time, which you are a master of.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, he's Master Quest version.
I'm sure you probably did the same thing, pull out your shield
and see if I can
reflect it back, which you can.
See, I didn't know that. I died.
Because that's how every Zelda game, like, you deal with any of the 3D ones, really. You deal with the Octoroks by just pulling your shield out and reflecting the thing they shoot at you back.
So then pretty much just like you guys had said, almost everything in that game as far as character-wise is in the other games.
For the most part, there's a lot of
different takes on the other game. Because you also don't have to kill them that way. You could, throw a bomb at them.
Or something like that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which is why I think it's so hard to put this one, for the most part, in a timeline, although they kind of speak to other games, it's kind of hard to pinpoint it.
No, it's 100% timelined. I feel like at this point, I'm confident in where.
We'll cover that next time on.
Patrick the Broom.
Yeah, Patrick the Broom.
Yeah, Patrick.
Yeah. But I think another thing that we may have spoke of, not today, but Sean, did you play Red Dead Redemption?
I played it before, yeah.
Because you're a master of gaming.
That's the one with McCree, right?
Well,
yes,
Balthazar McCree.
Yeah. Balthazar McCree. Yeah. That is his
High
actual
noons,
name.
Everyone.
Wiki it. His name is Balthazar McGee.
Let me quickly make that wiki real quick.
Yeah.
Balthazar
and
McGee.
Balthazar McGee.
Yeah. But I think in Red Dead, you have these, in the single player, you have these random encounters. Now, Breath of the Wild does have random encounters where you'll see someone get, like, mollywopped by, like, one of those.
Yeah, and you're like, why is this happening?
I'll come and do it and you help them, or you're just like, whatever, this guy sucks. I do wish there was, like, more randomly generated events
Yeah.
Something like that.
Oh, you mean like more just, hey, this is happening over here?
Like
type
maybe,
of thing? Like,
they have what? Main quests, shrine quests, side quests, right?
Yes.
Maybe have world quests.
Yes.
Where, somebody will be,
Rescues and
trying to find somebody, or somebody will be trapped, or...
And they trap like a world boss or like 5
somebody's,
goblins.
Friend got kidnapped right over there by all those goblins, and he's, up at the top of the mountain, looking at them, how do I save him?
Yeah.
And it would be like, oh, you got a world quest.
That has happened a little bit. Because it is there, yeah. Because for instance, when you go find a woman in the desert,
yeah,
you had to go through some shit depending on how you went through it. You had to go through the.
But that was a preset side quest.
That is true too.
Whether you did it or not is up to you.
That is true, true.
Just like there was one guy walking on the road, when I was on my way to Gerudo, and he's like, "Hey, we got attacked by monsters, and I lost my 4 friends. Can you go find them?" I didn't do it right away.
I remember that.
I did that probably 50 hours later because I'm like, I don't want to find your 4 friends.
I have to go fight Ganon. There's the princess captured.
You're not giving me any idea of where they are.
Yeah.
But later on when I was collecting and trying to do everything, I did end up finding them.
Yeah.
But that wasn't and that was pretty cool because they were captured by moblins and stuff. So you would
just seemed random.
You would go into the camp, you would hear a scream, and you would see her surrounded. They're all holding their spears up about to kill her and stuff, and I'm like, you guys been doing that for 50 hours or what?
Well, yeah, you haven't come.
Yeah,
so
you guys haven't killed her yet, or
tormenting her.
I enjoy that about the clan.
The clan.
The
Elaborate.
Clan.
Okay.
The Yiga clan. Triggered. I enjoy the fact with that. Yeah, how they just pop up. You're literally doing something. It's like, hey, banana time, and then they just show up.
I do wish that EU clan was Phantom Ganon instead.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I can see that. Yes. But I just liked how they just showed up somewhere, or how there was random people that you can choose to talk to or not,
and they're like,
and they were like,
"Is your name Lick or Lumbo?" And you're like, "No, it's Link." Oh yeah, Link. I have to kill you.
Haha, Yiga clan. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was a cool thing that they incorporated because it is based off of it's entirely based off of your curiosity as to what those people want from you or walking around.
That's few and far between enough where you forget about it by the time it happens again. You'll just realize this guy's talking at me weird, and then all of a sudden, boom, Yiga clan. You're like, oh, that's shit.
He just called me Link.
Yeah. Why he just called me
This guy just explained to me how much he loves blueberries or something.
He loves bananas. I don't really care.
Oh, banana. You got any bananas?
Yiga. You know what I'm saying?
So,
you don't have any bananas? You must be Link. Die.
Yeah,
he's allergic to bananas. All right, so we obviously have to talk about the purple elephant, and that's the purple elephant, known as...
You mean the blue bunny?
The blue bunny. No.
Yeah. I can't find him, yo. I found him one time.
Okay,
he always shows up when you go to Kakariko Village, and you walk towards the fairy fountain.
Oh, so it's only there.
Well, he spawns randomly, but you're talking about the one you shoot.
One of his most common spawns.
Okay, so that's why I haven't gone back to that damn village. I hate that village. I don't hate it, but I hate all those stupid ass...
I think you can respect your character if you want more hearts or less hearts.
Well, yeah. I hate the rooster quest.
We have to become roosters.
I still never found the guy that lets you respec.
Teleport to that shrine, walk down and left, he's right there.
Who let you do what?
It's a statue.
In Kakariko... Oh, it's a statue. Okay.
Yes.
Wait, what?
He lets you... Let's say he's like, I invested too much in hearts and I want more stamina. I'm very lazy. I'm not going to do any more shrines. You go down there and talk to him. You pay the toll, and he's just like... He sucks out one of your hearts, and then he's like, okay, you can now buy stamina or hearts from me.
Okay.
But the real purple elephant is the weapon durability. So...
Oh.
Yes. So, although it is a...
As Jeff looks away pissed off.
Well, no. He's just thinking about his big Goron sword. But, okay, so I understand why they did it because they want...
It'd be broken if it wasn't that
not necessarily be broken. They didn't want to delve more into the RPG factor of let's put a blacksmith in here or let's put real crafting in here where you're already getting monster pieces and parts, so just let me craft what I want.
It'll turn it into
it would kind of be like a
computer game.
Hunter.
Like a computer. Oh, yeah,
so
yeah.
I can understand why they did it. However, it's kind of giving us faux gameplay where it's all right, I have a sword and there's an enemy. I need to attack him with my sword, which will break to get his sword. So you're in this forever self-quest of re-getting weapons. And for me, I have 3 weapons that I don't use because if these will break, I'm just going to eat my game cartridge and just be done with it because I can't have those break.
Why not? You can get more.
No, the one-handed flame sword that my Dark Link uses, I have no idea.
I got 6 of those.
Yo,
wait, give them to me.
Are you talking about the Great Flame Sword?
No, not the great one. It's the one.
Because I just got that and it's amazing. I just want
it is amazing.
I hate the elemental weapons.
But they keep you warm at night.
I think they look cool,
bro.
but I don't.
I have an obsession in this game with electricity.
Okay.
I don't know why. All of those weapons are fucking amazing.
They are very cool.
I love them. It's
Especially
hilarious.
sneaking around with the thunder helm.
Is that your fetish?
I love. Oh,
do you
yes.
have a thunder fetish? Thunder
Absolutely.
thigh fetish?
Thunder thigh. I haven't got that helm, bro. I can't get it.
Just be better at the game and you'll have it.
Thanks, Dad. I can't.
Did you get the rubber helm?
No, I got the chest piece.
I got chest and pants. I can't find the helm.
I know where it
looks
is.
like a fish.
I know where it is, but I don't know. I know what you have to do to get it.
Is it
I don't know
shrine?
where it is. To get the chest piece, you have to do the cool little side quest in the middle part where you have to hit all the balls into the holes, right? Okay. Then to get the pants is which one?
It's in a shrine. I was in a shrine. I found a secret chest that I think it was a bunch of bombs.
It was the blow up one, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it was kind of off to the side, and I found it.
You blew up a big rock, and there was
Yeah.
a shrine under it? Okay, so to get the helm, it's at one of the stables. Which one, I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
But it's at one of the stables, and you have to talk to a boy who's by the horses, and he says, "Man, well, this stable always gets shocked all the time. I wonder why."
Jeez.
Basically. So then you have to climb up there, and then there's a sword stuck in it, and you pull out the sword, and then
Who put that there?
Yeah, somebody. He did.
It was Rob. He put that there.
Yeah, it was Rob. It was Ganon. That's the only thing that Ganon did in the game.
I'm climbing again. I haven't told you guys.
And that's how you get the helmet.
Okay.
So, going back to
We can edit that part out if we want.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Going back to
Spoiler.
weapon durability is I understand why it's in there, and I understand that there's no blacksmith and no crafting. I would want it. Ultimately, I don't want things to break, and here's why. So you go on this epic adventure. Let's say you're done with Ganon, you're done most of the quests. You're now exploring for yourself, and you find like a random chest buried in the sand, and you use your magnesis to free it, and you killed like 3 lizards, you killed a random world boss, and you open that thing up and you find like a cool like knight's claymore or like a cool shield. The fact that breaks undercuts your whole adventure of like it feels meaningless. Like in games there's always risk versus reward. So if the risk is to kill all these things and I get the promise of this, cool. But if the promise fades, there's no, I don't want to take that risk. I'm just like, no. And that kind of ruins traditional exploration for me. Like, the fact that I understand that things break, but...
I want to tell you something that's going to blow your mind.
I'm ready.
The enemies scale in this game.
Based off of the weapon you have?
Based off of, I guess, off the weapon you have, or how to figure out. I have no idea how they do the scaling, but the more I play, the harder enemies I find.
Even feel like that too.
I'll be like, oh, this area
that.
is kind of close to like the middle. Like it's not really anywhere that should be hard to deal with. I probably could have came across this 50 hours ago, but there's like 3 silver Babokins in there who are going to drop me mad good stuff, who probably wouldn't have been there earlier on. So the way I work my weapon durability, and I've gone back and forth. I've hated it. I loved it. I hated it. I loved it. I'm okay with it now because I figured out an awesome way to deal with it.
Okay.
And that's look at your inventory, pick your weakest weapon, start the fight with the weakest weapon.
I do that. I do that. I think that the reason why this stuff breaks the way it does too is because it makes you battle smarter. Because you're like, okay, so I have this weapon that I don't want to break, so how am I going to get around it breaking?
Well, I feel like
so
it's forcing you to think differently. It's like, don't just run in there with a sword, but that kind of limits creativity.
That's not the way I do it. I run in there with a sword, but I'll run in there with my 30 damage sword, kill a guy, he'll drop a 35 damage spear, so I'll just pick that one up because that's still my weakest weapon.
I mean, I always run in there with the master sword first, and when that breaks, whatever, I'll just wait to 10 minutes.
I really don't use it much more anymore.
Well, that's because you're a professional log cutter now with your master sword.
Yeah, well, I need it for getting ore. I don't want to waste my weapon.
Yeah, absolutely not.
And then, so that's traditional encounters, regular enemies. That's how I deal with it. And then, eventually, the way my inventory looks is I have, a 20 weapon, a 30 weapon, and then, a whole bunch of, 50, 60, 70s. Mm-hmm. And that's, my inventory. And then when I find a Lionel, I'm like, oh, I'm ready for you. And I pull out, my third strongest weapon or my first strongest weapon. Because I'll know I'll find the weapons again. I don't care. So I'll go after him with the big giant club I got from his friend that does 75 damage.
Beat him down
just
with it.
Ruin him with that.
Yeah.
And you know what? He'll give me a Lionel sword, which is 54 damage sword. Or
I'll just fire a guardian arrow at those. Those guys can go.
I need their hooves. I'm trying to fix my armor.
Okay. See, I about to say like the way I go about it is a lot of times is I rely on the whole dodging mechanic a lot of the time. I just feel like you do a lot more.
Like Dark Souls.
I also feel like you do more damage with it.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure you
more
actually
hits
do
per
more.
second.
Right, and I think with that your weapon won't break as fast.
It probably does, but it might not count it as each hit's not counted against a strike of durability.
But that's what exactly. You know what I'm saying? So you could possibly get a weapon to last you twice as long.
Yeah.
But it makes the battles last longer as well because you have to wait for the timing. You can't just dodge shit just to dodge shit. You have to wait for them to swing at you or charge
My
you.
whole
or something
battle
like
with
that,
the Lionel is countering with my shield and dodging.
This is how I counter. Okay, he's about to swing. Press A, miss, one shot, dead. I'm like, good dude.
I clicked the button
next time,
but I clicked it.
All right, so ultimately, we're gonna let's wrap this up. I think it's time to review it, Jeff. And for me personally,
all right,
I give this game 23 crushed red cups.
All right, out of what?
No, just 23 crushed red cups.
What's your scale? What are we reaching to? What kind of review scale do we want to do for this?
So I think I give it 23 crushed red cups out of like 7 bubblegum pieces.
Okay. All right. I mean, with all the things we're talking about, I'm thinking, I like the game more than you. Obviously.
I think so.
I love this game. I still play.
As a note, I also love this game very much.
Yeah, he does not.
He doesn't love the game.
He complains about this game every single day.
Yeah, he does.
But I'm going to give this game 17 feathers.
Okay, well,
yeah,
it's a lot of feathers.
Yeah, out of a toaster.
Wow.
Yeah,
that is wow. Shinoy, I mean, we're going to balance one to you.
I'm still trying to get past the randomness of these.
I think you need to just tell us your
I got the whole rating system right here. You want to look at it?
Oh yeah, sure.
I'll show it to the camera. Right now.
So I mean, what's your review?
I'm going to relate it to something that I love,
which is cake.
No.
Okay.
I mean, everybody loves cake. Right?
So Shinoy doesn't love cake.
I love cake.
See, cake or a pie guy.
All right, let's.
I don't know what's happening.
So we're gonna do cake versus pie right now.
Go. So what's your review here? Go.
Okay. I mean, it being my first Zelda game.
Other than him being a master of Ocarina of Time.
Well, that is very, very true. I mean, I'm just well versed in that. I don't even count that game anymore. It doesn't even matter.
Doesn't even count anymore. Worst game in the series, right, everyone?
I think so.
Yeah, Zelda 2 is the best game in the
series.
series.
Yeah, it is. Zelda.
But I never beat
Skyward Sword. Come on, man. What are you talking about?
All right, I would give it 14 Nikes out of 3 sweatshirts.
Wow, and that's it, man. That is our all-encompassing.
I don't think he read our review scale rules.
I don't think so, man. Because shoes, that's like the Ocarina of Time thing, man. Yeah. That's just too many shoes.
Oh, it's too many.
That rating makes no sense.
All right, I'm sorry. Okay.
You gotta. All right. Don't be ridiculous.
No, you know what? Come back next time. Come prepared. We're gonna edit you out of this entire show.
Thanks, man.
We just wasted your time.
That's fine. I'm sorry. I'll scale it a little bit better.
All right. So, anything else you guys want to cover?
Well, I mean,
this is the best Zelda game ever made.
It is a very good, very excellent Zelda game.
It's the best Zelda game.
It is a very excellent Zelda game.
When the fuck did we get ice cream?
We are about to get ice cream. Want to get ice cream?
I think we might.
Let's go get some ice cream.